Can we be honest for just a minute? Writing about yourself can be hard, and it can feel strange, even weird. You either say too much, sound too stiff, or even overthink every word until it just sits in a dock collecting dust. But your about page and social bios are some of the most important pieces of your brand online. And today, I'm going to show you how to write them in a way that actually sounds like you. Now, of course, with the help of ChatGPT, this process becomes clear, simple, and surprisingly fast. Today, you'll get a process to write your about page and social bios in a way that connects with your specific audience, sounds like your voice, and reflects the heart of what you do, all without trying to write a mini memoir. Can anyone relate? Let's change that. I want to share with you that I've been fortunate to help some of our clients start with a strong about page first because it really sets the tone for the rest of their content and honestly their business overall. And I love to hear that our clients are really enjoying the results, especially when their about page not only speaks directly to their audience, but also clearly showcases who they are and what it is they offer. It creates clarity, confidence, and consistency across every other piece of content. So I want to share with you something. For small business owners, your about page and social bios aren't just background. It's just not a space that you just want to fill in. They're how people decide whether to trust you or follow you or even to take the next step and buy from you. They're often the first thing someone reads when checking out your website or your profile. So even though they're about you, they need to speak directly to your audience, what you do for them, and why that matters. And when you get it right, you'll have a version of your story you can use across your website, your content, and every platform you show up on. Now, before we get into prompts, I want to give you a quick reminder. This works best if you've already pre-baked the oven. And for those of you who might not know what that is, what I mean is that ChatGPT knows what you do, who you serve, how you speak, and what types of content you create. If you haven't done that yet, grab the free Pre-Bake the Oven guide. And I promise it will make writing your about page and your bios way faster and even more accurate. So let's get started. A great about page or bio should be clear, not clever. It should speak to your audience, but not just about you. You want to share what you do and why it matters to them. Give people a reason to trust you and take action. You want to sound like a real human, not a corporate brochure. And here's the truth. Once you write a solid about page, your social bios become so much easier. You're just pulling out the highlights and tailoring them to the specific platform. So let's get started with this. Step 1, start with your about page. This is your foundation. It's the longest piece, but once it's in place, You can quickly repurpose it for Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, or wherever else you show up. You could start with this ChatGPT prompt. You are my content assistant. I am blank. Put in what you do. Who helps blank who you serve with blank problems you solve. My tone is blank style. Write an about page that introduces me clearly, builds trust, and encourages people to work with me. Include a short intro, my why, what I help with, and a simple call to action. Then, if you want it to sound more conversational or casual, you can even add, make it sound like a warm, real conversation, not like a formal bio. This should give you a strong draft in your voice. So let me give you an example if I was using this. You are my content assistant. I am a business coach who helps small business owners with getting out of their own way and mapping out a strategy to reach their goals. My tone is professional, yet lighthearted and casual. Write an about page that introduces me clearly, builds trust, and encourages people to work with me. Include a short intro, my why, what I help with, and include a simple call to action of book a free consultation. That's how I would do it. Now, of course, you can tweak this however it's best for you. And speaking of tweaking, step 2 is going to be refining and personalize your about page. Once you have a draft, ask ChatGPT to revise based on your preferences. Make this sound more confident, less corporate. Or add something about my past experience in blank field. Make this more direct and clear in the first paragraph. Add a final line inviting them to book, subscribe, reach out, or whatever fits you. The example I gave was to book a free consultation. Now, you want to take the time to conversate back and forth with ChatGPT until it feels like you and speaks to the people you want to serve. And as I've said before, that's where the gold nuggets lie, is really conversating back and forth. If you don't like something, telling ChatGPT, I don't like this. If you do like something, but you don't like a word or two, taking the time to tell it that as well. So next up is step 3, adapt it into your social bios. Now, once you have your about page dialed in how you want it, you want to pull the key pieces into short form bios for different platforms. And I'll give you an example of a prompt. Take this about page and write 3 versions of a social media bio for me. Keep it clear, on brand, and platform ready. Include a call to action. One should be short and punchy, one friendly and casual, and one should be professional. Now, you can also include emojis and line breaks for Instagram. Keep the LinkedIn version professional and without emojis. This gives you options you can use or tweak for specific platforms, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or even LinkedIn. Each platform has different space limits and vibes, so ChatGPT can help you tailor the tone accordingly. And I encourage you to take the time to do so. Use the space and characters that are available on each of the platforms. Now what you have is a finished about page you're proud to publish. You also have multiple social bios tailored to the different platforms. And you also have a clear way to talk about what you do that actually connects with your audience. Now, here's another thing. You can also reuse this language. This new about page isn't just for your website. Use pieces of it to introduce yourself in a caption. Add it to a welcome email. Or maybe you have something coming up, and whether it needs to be a 30-second intro for a networking event, or you want to include it in a pitch that you have for a partnership or upcoming interviews. It really can become a go-to source for on-brand messaging wherever you show up. Now, as I mentioned, writing about yourself can be one of the hardest things to do from scratch. Trust me, I've been there. But when you start with a strong prompt and you let ChatGPT do the heavy lifting, it's easier to find the words that sound like you and speak to them. You don't need a perfect origin story. You don't need something that is so well crafted that no one is going to connect with it. What you need is something real, clear, and aligned with the value you bring. So now's a good time for me to remind you, if you have not already grabbed the Pre-Bake the Oven guide, I encourage you to do so. It's how you teach ChatGPT to sound like you, so writing anything from bios to blog posts becomes faster and more on brand. So to wrap all of this up, here's what I encourage you to do. Open ChatGPT, load your pre-baked info, and start drafting your about page using the prompts from this session. Once you've refined that, create your updated social bios using the same core language. I promise you'll be so glad you finally updated this. It's one of the most powerful pieces of content you can create, and when you do it right, it makes everything else so much easier. I hope you enjoyed this information and can utilize it in your business. Until next time, take care and keep working on your business.